What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James with Mint Hunter Comics. I apologize that I'm filming this from my office. I know it's a crappier setup, but I just wanted to get this video out really quick because I'm doing some research on some books that just came back. Spoiler alert, there's going to be an awesome video this week. And I had to do some real double takes on some of the values that I was looking up here. Some of the stuff got really crazy. I am talking about DC Universe logo variants and third prints, second prints, fourth prints of DC books from the early 90s. Just came back to me from CBCS, and I won't spoil the grades that I got. That will be a video this week that you'll see. But some of them are insane. And I knew that with DC in the early 90s, a lot of second, third, and even later printings are actually more valuable than the first printing, but I hadn't kept like an eye on it. Well, I just started doing some research just to kind of find out what I should be pricing these books at, and it's nuts. So I'm going to give you a little rundown of just 10 books, and I expanded it to include a couple books that I didn't even have, mainly just notable 90s DC books to watch out for, because some of those later printings could possibly give you a heart attack looking up these prices. I'm going to start with a big one, $4.97. Let me look at my sheet here. $4.97, that's Bane getting his back broken by Bane. There's a lot of different versions of this. You got your direct edition, and with a CGC 9.8 price, you're looking at something like 70 bucks. Despite how notable the issue is, there's a lot of them out there. Everybody submits this book, so it's a no-brainer that you'd see a lot of. Well, in second place for value, we have the second printing, which bumps up a little bit. It's almost 100 bucks. It calculates right at about 95 bucks. The second printing is a little bit more notable for having a different color scheme for the Batman logo, which keep an eye out for, because the third printing is an invert of the second printing for color scheme. Third printing is almost the most valuable. Third printing comes in at 190 bucks. It's not impossible for that to be a $200 book. That is a significantly more rare version to find. You just don't see it that much. And that's another one of the reasons why that particular printing has that price tag. But the winner has to go to the newsstand edition. Newsstand edition of this book, which was not very prominent. I still think there's probably less third printings than newsstand editions, but people in the market maybe don't understand that yet. Newsstand is about a $300 book. In a 9.8, you betcha. It's like a $300 book. So the winner for all the various printings of Batman 497 goes to Newsstand. Let's do one that has 5 printings. Man of Steel 18. First full appearance of Doomsday, the direct edition. It's like a $100 book, right? Maybe you get a good deal, you get 90 bucks. In second place, you have the third print, which is right exactly around the same thing. 98, 100 bucks, something like that. The newsstand edition, unlike the 497, is not the most valuable. Newsstand edition will run you about $135. Second place goes to 145 bucks, is our second print of Man of Steel 18. Oh, excuse me, our third place goes to that. Fourth printing is when you get into the big money. Fourth printing is a $300 books. And these are actual proven sales that I've found. So I'm not like making these numbers up out of my head. I'm actually looking at what people recently paid for these books. But as you know, some of you might know it already, there's a fifth printing, which also happens to be the DC Universe logo variant, which clocks in at about a $500 book. There were 2021 prices near $700, but let's forget about 2021. That's ultra rare. Next up, we got Batman 492. There's a couple versions of this. The direct main copy, it's like an $80 book if you've got it in 9.8, not bad. Second place goes to the second printing. $230. That's quite a jump from the first print there. That's almost $200 of a jump, quite frankly. The third printing also is even a little bit more. It's about a $250 book. I actually have one of those, so yay me. But there's a platinum edition, which is a $400 book. It's a nightmare trying to get that one in high grade. Whenever I see them, they're always like 6.5s. You know, they're really hard. There's not much of them. I couldn't give you an actual number, but there's not too many of them out there. But that's not a different printing. That was just a platinum edition that came out at the same time as the direct. But that's the winner at $400. Justice League America 69. I probably should have put this as the last one. But this one is the conundrum. This is the one that broke my mind when I was looking up this book. So check it out. Justice League America, the regular direct edition, is $110. That was already higher than I thought it would be for this book. The book is, you know, Doomsday slapping around the Justice League, which is totally pretty cool, but I just didn't know it commanded that value. The second print of this thing is, look at this, $400 for the second print, and it gets way weirder. Okay, third print, and I had to triple check to see if this wasn't fake. Third printing of this book is highly, highly rare. I did find a little bit of detail on it, and yes, it is what you would almost consider ultra rare. I couldn't get an exact count. There's just statements on the internet saying that thing is rare as frickin' unicorns, okay? $900. If you have a 9.8 copy of the third printing of Justice League America 69, and it gets more ridiculous, if you have the fourth and final printing, which is the DC Universe UPC logo variant, it is a $1,000 book. 4 figures off of this Justice League America 69. And those are actual paid sold prices of that book. I couldn't believe it either. I just did looking up myself, and yeah, that's real. So those are real sales data for that book. That's insane. So next up, Green Lantern 51. Watch out for this book. The direct edition of this first Kyle Rayner cover is about a $100 book. It actually went quite down a little bit recently. But I'm looking at the DC Universe logo variant, and it's actually like a $200 book. Now, I have it, but that is not the most rare version of that book. We have to enter the hyper rare category for the DC Universe logo variant / second print. So not just a DC Universe logo, but DC Universe logo that also shows the 2 Roman numerals. Crazy rare. There's like 2. And that's got a loose floating fair market value of about $400. To the right collector, someone might even pay more than that. I might even pay more than that. Well, not now, but if I had more money, maybe. Next up, I'm going to give you Action Comics 684, right in that same pocket, that early 90s Superman stuff. That's the one where the second, third printings get crazy. Direct edition, it's a $75 book. The second print is a $180 book. Huge jump up. The third printing is a $250 book. I also have one of those. Cool. I didn't know. I didn't know what I had. That's pretty cool. All right, and Batman 500. I absolutely knew about this one because I was chasing this when I was trying to complete my Nightfall collection. But there's the collector's edition. Collector's edition, $60, 9.8. Super affordable, awesome 9.8. I should totally do a video of affordable 9.8s. I will do that. Okay, the cover B is the slightly more valuable one. That's the one that follows that motif of the Kelly Jones inspired covers of either Bane or Jean-Paul Valley standing over a defeated foe. Cover B goes for about $120 in a 9.8. Well, the one I knew about, which is the second printing, is kind of the same cover B, but it's a little different color scheme slightly. That one's crazy valuable. I do have one of those, and I spent top dollar for it, ironically, and then the next year I submitted my own and I got the 9.8 for it. So what are you going to do? It's about a $400 book. Keep in mind, the collector's edition is 60 bucks. The second printing of this thing and final printing is a $400 book. Just goes to show you that crazy early 90s DC bumps, man. I'm going to give you just 3 more. Flash 92. I don't have this book. I just wanted to show you. Direct edition, first appearance of Impulse. It is all the way down to a $150 book. Never thought I'd see it that low again. But the DC Universe logo variant and also the second print is like an $800 to $1,000 book. But I got to tell you, it's pretty rare. You're probably not going to get your hands on one. I saw one on eBay. I think it was for $300. It was a 9.6. That actually might be a really good deal. Yeah, I don't own that book, though. Superboy 9, I own a direct edition. Direct editions are 160 bucks currently. The newsstands of that go for 225. So the newsstand is appropriately a little bit more valuable. After all, it's the 90s. There's way less of them than the direct editions. But there is a DC Universe logo variant of that thing, and it commands about 600 bucks. Again, in 2021, it was higher, but who cares? That's crazy. For that fair market value to still be that much, that's pretty impressive. And I knew that that DC Universe variant was much more valuable and more rare for that book, but I was curious to see it when I actually looked it up. Last one I'm going to give you, Superman 75. Direct edition's like a $200 book. Very impressive. Here's where a later printing doesn't help it out. The second printing is only about a $100 book. So you absolutely want the first print of Superman 75. It's not for all of them. I think one of the things is the second printing of Superman 75 it was a big print run. But then there were some later printings that were much less, like the third print, which climbs right back to that $200 mark, just like the first printing. And then the fourth printing is like a $250 book. So it is, like these others, much more valuable than just the regular first print. As maybe you know, there also was a platinum edition that came out at the same time. It's not a later printing. It's just one of the versions that came out. Platinum edition, which came in polybag, I think, maybe silver. I don't remember. It's about an $800 9.8 if you've got it. So that's a hyper impressive book, but I got to tell you, I knew, I had some idea. I've even mentioned it on this channel before because I knew about the Man of Steel 5th print. But some of these books, like the Justice League America 69, and just some of these really blew my mind for the value. Who are you that's paying for these? I know that I've paid top dollar for one of these later printings when I was trying to do my Nightfall collection. Are you trying to put together a rarer printing run? I know that a lot of people find these printings to be more desirable even than the first printing. They don't even want the first printing. They want the crazy rare ones. So let me know down in the comments if you've got any of these. What condition do you have them if you do? And as always, this is why we keep on hunting.